Hey y'all, it's me. I'm back, and I am J Nicole, and I'm finally back with another video. It is 2022. I feel like it's been almost a year since I uploaded my last video, but this video is not a makeup tutorial. It is part of my new series called TV Talkback, when I can finally dish on all the shows that I watch and just kind of talk back to y'all, because a lot of people in my life don't watch the shows that I watch. So I feel like I watch them and I have a billion things to say, but nobody to say them to. So I'm just gonna talk to the camera. The first show we're gonna get into just happens to be is for sure one of my favorite reality TV shows, but also my fave show on Bravo, and it is Married to Medicine, and it is back. I'm excited. Can you tell? We are going to get into season 9, episode 1, and I'm so excited that it's back. It feels like it's been forever. So let's get into it. First things first, Jackie is still booked and busy. She is the first woman we see when the show opens up. She's meeting with her staff, and I don't know what month they're filming this in, but they've made it clear that they are booked. And the only reason she can fit in, the only way she could fit in any more patients this year is if she comes in at like 6:30 or something. So one thing is consistent, Miss Jackie is still booked. And after this, we immediately see Jackie and Simone together, and I must say I'm surprised. I'm happy to see it, and I'm also happy Simone don't have that bob, that dreadful bob from last season. But yes, I am happy to see it. I'm also very much surprised because when we ended the season, the last couple seasons have been rough for them. And I feel like they've only been kind of getting back cool for the sake of the group. I feel like most of the women look up to them, and especially their friendship. And this go around, their friendship looks less forced than in the previous few seasons. So also, it is so cute to see the couples back together. Jackie and Simone have been friends for a very long time. Thus, Cecil and Curtis have been friends. So there's a scene where Jackie and Simone are riding home from work. They clearly get to Jackie's house because Curtis is out there with a car, which, praise the Lord, as you can see, Simone not letting Cecil buy shit, but Curtis is clearly trying to market this car or sell this car to Cecil. So that was a really cute scene. The point is, I'm very happy that they are back together. After we get around to seeing, I guess, what Jackie and Simone are up to, Quad and Heavenly get together, and I wrote down, we're finally getting to the mess. We know Quad and Heavenly are the duo that's gonna catch us up on everybody, but for the most part, what we get is that they're talking about Contessa, and off bat we could tell that Contessa is mad at Heavenly. So it seems that Contessa just ghosted Heavenly from what she said, and Heavenly isn't sure why, but basically the producers kind of fill us in, and they show us that Contessa, you know, as the show goes on, Heavenly on her YouTube channel, she recaps the show as well, but with all her stank and mess and shade on it, and Contessa didn't like what she had to say about her. Now, just off from my memory, because I used to look at her recaps, I didn't think anything that she said was too bad or too out of pocket, but at the same time, I don't know. Maybe I'm used to Heavenly's mess, and maybe they are too, but you know, Heavenly just has a bad habit of talking about her friends in a way that strangers would, and you could tell that that's going to be addressed this season. So for whatever reason, Contessa's mad at Heavenly. Just starting off the show, I'm just like, I guess, girl. But we'll get to that. After they link up, we get to see Quad's new house. Quad is no longer in that bullshit-ass apartment, as Toya so kindly put it. And Quad is in a house. And I wrote down Quad is smart, okay? Quad went through a lot with Greg. And on this episode, she says she don't want a man to have authority in her house. So Quad said that she did it all with her own money. And while she could get a man that can pay for everything, she does not want one. So kudos to her. She learned the first time. Next, we get Contessa and Scott. And just, she updates us that at the end of last season and all the drama that they went through, she pretty much had to threaten Scott with divorce papers and like threaten to leave him to make Scott go to therapy, which that's all she really wanted last season. And I don't know if they like really dragged that out for a storyline, but it was exhausting. So yeah, that's that. So they seem to be doing much better this season. And Contessa is preparing for a fitness competition. The first thing that came to my mind is that she constantly looking for something to pull her out that house and away from them kids and her husband. Kind of like Candy. But yeah, I don't know. She preparing for this fitness competition, and I guess we'll get more into that. Seem like it's gonna be kind of blah, but whatever. We then see Quad, whose nephew is absolutely adorable. He lives with her now, along with her mom. And her brother, he's passed away. So, I believe it was heart failure, and it just really occurred to me, I'm 32, and I'm seeing more and more people my age passing away, and we just really got to take better care of ourselves. So that is pretty much the update on Quad. And then we get to Anila, who is describing how hard it was to complete their brand new beautiful house.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
Yeah, must be nice. But anywho, we all want those troubles, right? But yeah, so clearly Anila is the new Toya. On one hand, we've definitely seen it before. It's not that exciting. But on the other hand, we love to see, you know, we watch these shows, we love to see luxurious living and nice things. And hey, it is what it is. So, out of nowhere, they bless the house, which I know a lot of people who do that for their house. But then there's a cow there. I miss why the cow is there. The cow pooped on the floor. I don't understand it. Seems like the exact opposite of a blessing. But whatever. And then the messy editing on this show shows a little map. And we go like up the street and around the corner, past Toya's forever home and to Toya's new rental house. We're on season 9 and it's more of the same mess from Toya. So there was a lot of extra attention on this elevator that's in the rental house, and she not only explains that the forever home wasn't large enough for the kids and adults, even though it's only 4 of them and the house was ginormous. Like, y'all could have moved into your closet. But she says she didn't have a room for a tennis court, even though she was so proud of the fact that the neighborhood had their own child. Girl, we had Toya run a house, and they're building another house so she can have a tennis court and an elevator built into it. More of the same mess with Toya. Her and Anila say that they are good, which not believing, but we'll see. And at the end of this clip, Anila invited Toya to her homecoming. I mean, housewarming. All right, so I guess the main event for this episode, and we know how these shows work. It's like a little event on every episode, whatever. Y'all aren't new to this. The main event on this episode is Anila's housewarming, which has a Diwali theme. And right off the top, I was weak because I watched The Office and it made me think of the Diwali episode of The Office. If you know, you know. So that's going to tie me into something else, but we going to get there. So we see all the girls getting ready for the housewarming, including Quad, which is at Anila's home. And you could tell, like, I don't follow Anila, but I follow Quad. And you could tell that they've gotten close after filming. Also, as they're getting ready, I find it pretty ironic that Contessa hasn't talked to any of the girls she was close to last season. So she says, like, I haven't spoke to Quad, I haven't spoke to Jackie, I haven't spoke to Heavenly. But I do feel like they might have referred to themselves as like the Fab Four, and then it was like the Fab Five with Anila. And I actually preferred them over Toya, Simone. I mean, don't nobody like Carrie, but she's not even on the show. Whatever. I kind of prefer them over the Toya and Simone team or whatever. But I just found it funny that Contessa wasn't speaking to any of them, or she said she hasn't spoke to any of them since they last filmed. And she mentioned respecting boundaries, which I guess. But when I heard respect boundaries, it was like, oh, so you're telling me they should have turned a blind eye to your moping, to your sadness about your storyline, i.e. your failed marriage. But then when these people were genuinely concerned and holding Scott accountable because you couldn't, now they're wrong. That's why y'all got to stay out of y'all friends' relationships, okay? Leave it alone. Let your friend deal with it. You got to be the shoulder to cry on, but by no means don't question the guy, because it's gonna come back to bite, and they're gonna take that man back and be mad over you. I mean, that's an age-old tale, so you would think these women would know, but I guess they also thought Contessa was old enough and mature enough to be able to handle this. Whatever, child. All right, y'all. So the Diwali themed housewarming begins, and it's like beautiful and lavish and everything that we expect from Married to Medicine on one of these shows. And I wrote down Heavenly invited 2 more people and called them a +1. Pretty sure they're going to work them in as friends of the show. But if I invite you to a party, please don't bring 2 people with you. It just seems hella rude and tacky. And I love Heavenly, but it's clearly what we've come to expect of her. So, also during the beginning of this scene, Quad is getting henna done. Curtis still hasn't learned his lesson on boundaries, speaking of boundaries, because he touched her wet henna, and which was on her arm. But not only did he mess it up, it's like, why are you touching this woman? Like, it was so, of all the people, I don't know why he reached over and was like, oh, Quad got, sir, have you learned nothing? Go find a man. In the words of Heavenly, go find a man. So I thought that was kind of weird and noteworthy. But then also, Carrie shows up to the party. Why is Carrie here? I don't know. During the party, Heavenly introduces us to her +1s. And I believe they were a state attorney and a dentist. So, I immediately noticed, like, accomplished. She don't play about that, so that was nice to see. One of Anila's party guests began to talk to Dr. Damon, and Heavenly, with her same tricks and one-liners, is just like, someone talking to my man. Why she on my man? Why she on my man? Baby, we don't want Dr. Damon. It's fine. It's okay. Like, we know that's kind of your thing. Like, you don't play about your man. And it's cute and all, but we get it. So anywho, so after this, Carrie notices that Heavenly is, says this. And she works her way over to Dr. Damon and she's like, Heavenly is worried about you talking to other people or something. It was just very much white woman, like, why'd you even word it like that? And I do fully appreciate the way Heavenly's plus one, which I'm sorry if you're on the next episode, I'll try to have your name. But the woman who Heavenly bought was like, Heavenly is not worried. Please get Carrie together. Like, she's annoying. So, and also, I thought it was pretty messy how the producers then asked Dr. Damon in the confessional, does he have any female friends, knowing good and damn well he does not. Like, any of us could have answered that. It was a waste. Like, y'all just want to see Heavenly go off. We know that man ain't got no friends. And he seems very busy. So anywho, Anila, her husband, and the family walk into the party and they have this huge entrance. And the thing that catches me off guard, catches my attention, is when the DJ is announcing them, he just referred to her husband with his name. But with his name or whatever, he was like, Doctor motherfucker. And I thought that was hilarious. I like him. I knew I liked him last season, but I can't wait to see more of him. So let's get into it, right? I could have talked about this for the entire video. The party is Diwali themed. Diwali is like the festival of lights. I don't know if it's Hindu or what. And so when I heard Diwali, I immediately thought of that episode of The Office where, let's get into it. Kelly invited the whole office to the party and Michael decided to bring a date. So I think his date was Carol, the lady he was dating at the time. And so when Carol asked how it was, I guess this was before, simple Googles and whatnot. He told her it was essentially a Hindu Halloween. So she comes dressed in a cheerleading costume, and she's embarrassed because everybody else has on like traditional Indian garb. Hilarious. So it's funny that immediately was on my mind, because when Anila invited all the ladies, she asked them to wear traditional Indian clothing. Everybody else, nobody had a problem with it. This is not Anila's first season up here. She has, invited them to celebrate things in like a traditional Indian way before. I don't know why I rubbed Contessa the wrong way this time. I shall not say rubbed her the wrong way, but Contessa just couldn't follow directions this time. She was like, I don't understand. I have Indian friends and we don't ever dress like that when we go to their house. And then Scott was like, yeah, because if I have something at my house, I'd be pissed if somebody came in a dashiki. And it's like, but she asked y'all to do it, which means she asked everybody to do it. So with that being said, Contessa shows up. She's the last one to show up before Toya and Eugene. And Contessa and Scott pull up, and Contessa steps out the car in a cheap polyester Amazon Egyptian costume. Contessa and Scott combined have too many degrees, are just way too smart for... What were you thinking, ma'am? What were you thinking? Like, that was the... I got secondhand embarrassment when I saw it, because it's like, you could have just worn a simple dress. If you didn't feel comfortable wearing what she wanted you to wear, or you just didn't, like, I don't know. If you didn't feel comfortable, if you didn't want to offend, which is odd because she asked you to do it, you should have just wore a dress. I don't know what in your black ass mind made you wear this Egyptian Halloween costume to that party. It was embarrassing. You looked a fool. I'm surprised more people did not mention it. Totally absurd. It was stupid. It was not the flex she thought it was. I was so disappointed because I really like Contessa. It made absolutely no sense. Okay. So anywho, the last who show up the last to show up at the party was Toya and Eugene, because they live so close to her house, yet they were so late. They rode up in a golf cart and it... Okay. So they rode up in this golf cart, and then all the girls go on a house tour where Anila says that although her husband, bought the house, she got all her furniture free from blogging. I gotta get my stuff together because I'm in the wrong field. I'm in the wrong business for sure. Like I knew it had its perks, but goodness. I gotta do some brainstorming. So as the house tour is ending, Tacky Toya needs her Patron. Tacky Carrie is touching the wall as she walks down the stairs. And I'm so happy Jackie checked her. Like, you already know them folks don't be washing their hands. Why is you touching this lady wall? You're in this brand new house. Even if you was in the old house, why are you walking around touching the... Man, so I was very appreciative of Jackie checking Carrie's ass, but also the fact that they showed it to us, because ma'am, don't do that. Next we get to like how we're getting into the main conflict of the season, which is Quiet asking Contessa about Heavenly, and Contessa seems genuinely hurt by the things that Heavenly has said, and Quiet gets it. And so I wish they would have showed another clip, especially for people who have seen the after, her recap, because it's like, okay, you were hurt by, I guess, the words when she said that you were... One of Heavenly's viewers asked her, do she thinks that Contessa is being abused? And while I do think she should have handled that more responsibly, because people are asking for mess, Heavenly did answer, I think, in an honest way, in the sense of she made sure to clarify, I do think she's verbally abused and mentally abused. From what we saw on the show last year, and the way Scott was kept running her through the ringer and whatnot, it was kind of hard for me to argue with that. But I know semantics, and I know, that abuse word is that's a sensitive subject. But I guess I hate the way, not only does Quad get where Contessa is coming from, but Quad and Simone have said the same in previous seasons. Toya has too. People probably didn't really think too much about Toya or Mariah, because it's clear that Heavenly didn't get along with them. But these people that you're calling friends, it seemed like you would show a little more grace to. But at the same time, I guess Heavenly gives it to you straight regardless, which I guess my only solution for that is, if you're going to consider these people friends, either be mindful of their feelings and try to sugarcoat what you say about them, or just don't consider none of these people friends, or don't expect for any of them to be friendly to you. I don't know. And Contessa says that Heavenly is spoiled, and that they've spoiled Heavenly, and I do agree, because this has been brought up time and time and time again, and it's just like, oh, well, this is Heavenly, and the Florida in her, and this, that, and the other. But it's like, clearly, this should have been made clear to her, we will not tolerate you being disrespectful towards us when you recap the show. So I don't know. I guess about the third, fourth time they showed that clip in the episode, I finally was like, yeah, this isn't the first time that they've talked to Heavenly. about this. But I guess this season they're gonna get into her ass, so that's sure to be fun times. And while I do think, you know, Contessa has a valid reason for being mad at Heavenly, I guess I can't stand the silent treatment thing. And I just wish that, you know, I feel like, I don't know. I just wish that they, you know, could have addressed it as the show was wrapping up. But it's also pointless for me to say all of this, because had they addressed it as grown women and talked it out after filming stopped, then they wouldn't have a conflict for this season. So that was a recap of season 9, episode 1 of Married to Medicine. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. But also, don't forget to jump down in the comments and let's continue the conversation. What do you think about Heavenly's after show, and did she go below the belt? What do you think about Contessa showing up with that god-awful costume, which just was a bad idea? And are you excited about this new season? Also, are you excited about my reality TV Talkback? Please let me know. I will try to definitely be consistent with this. This seems to be my thing. I like to talk reality TV. I've always liked to talk about TV. TV is my zhuzh, but the makeup thing gets harder to do. Maybe I'll recap some of these shows while doing my makeup. Who knows what this channel has in store for it, but I do plan to keep this up. So thank you for your time. Thank you for coming back and watching this video. And I do hope to see you next time. Bye.